Howdy folks, thanks for stopping by. Today I thought we'd talk about the Seagull S6 Slim neck is what this is. I've had this guitar, I guess, 5 years maybe. It was before COVID, I remember that. And I like it a lot. I've played it a lot. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it's kind of nickered up a little bit. I play it quite a bit. It's got some scratches and stuff and some wear on from playing it on the fingerboard. But it's a great guitar. It sounds awesome. Fun to play. I came onto these guitars. I work in a music store and give lessons at a music store, I should say. And there's a guy that comes in there and he has all these really high-end Martin guitars. I mean, he gets these custom shop guitars that are a fortune. So much so that when he takes delivery, Chris Martin meets him and delivers the guitar. So he's bought a lot of them, okay? And he was in there one day, and I just was kidding around. I said, you couldn't tell the difference, sound-wise, by any Martin guitar in any lesser expensive guitar, just by listening. And he said he could. So we turned him around so he couldn't hear, or couldn't see, I'm sorry. And we just handed him another guy guitars to play. And some of them were expensive guitars, Martins or whatever, and others were less expensive guitars. One of the less expensive guitars was this one, and I remember him playing this guitar and I thought, man, this sounds fantastic. Those guitars sound great. And I love the whole aspect that they're made with material sourced in Canada, which I thought was really great. But needless to say, he didn't get any of them right when he was trying to do it just by sound, which is a great testament. That's a whole video just in itself. You know, we get these guitars and stuff in sound-wise, you can't tell the difference in sound between them. You can by touching and actually feeling and playing them between a more expensive guitar and a lesser expensive guitar. But if they're in the hand of someone that can play, any instrument is going to sound great just by listening. So I was intrigued by these, and I picked one up. This one does have their electronics package in it. And this is one of the later models. It has their newer logo on the top, and they stained the back of it. The early ones, if you've ever seen the early S6s, just had the regular blonde backs. They didn't stain this. I think it's cherry is what the back in the other wood is. Top on this is cedar. And that's cool. They're all great guitars. But this is a really nice sounding guitar. The pickup system in this sounded fine. The downside to these guitars is the sound hole is small. So if you wanted to put, if you know what a feedback buster is, one of those big rubber things for playing gigs, to help keep the guitar from feeding back so easily, it doesn't fit in here. And there's nowhere to get one that does fit in here. And so if you're in a situation where it's feedback, you're just kind of stuck with the feedback. And if you can't get it to kind of stop. So I decided to try some different stuff. So I put it, this is a Seymour Duncan pickup. I think it's an M1 or something. I'll have to do a separate video on that so you can hear what that actually is. So everything is still hooked up. I just have I just switched the jack for the M1, and the other one is just tucked inside. So I can just undo this, take this out, and hook the other one up with no problem if I want to. But this has a built-in tuner, and it sounded, you know, it sounded like typically what these sound like when you have this in. When you plug into a PA with a piezo pickup. So the magnetic pickup and the mic kind of add a nice little balance to things a little bit. I've had a bunch of guitars, acoustic guitars. This is the only acoustic guitar I've had for the 5 years since I got it. It plays nice, it sounds nice. I don't need anything else. It feels like it has a lot of songs in it to me. You know, you can come up with a pretty cool song pretty easily out of this stuff. Some guitars just kind of make it easy to come up with stuff, and other guitars not so much. And I've had Martins and Alvarez and Yamaha and Takamine. I can't even think of them all over the years. But I'm quite happy with this one. This one works really nice. You can play a lot of different stuff on it. It has a nice smooth balanced tone to it. It has all satin finish, which I like. I really like that a lot on acoustic instruments. And it's a very thin finish. Very thin, which makes it, you know, and then it's a soft top, so the cedar scratches and nicks pretty easy, but I'm okay with that. I think it makes it look kind of cool and loved, you know. But yeah, no, I think that nice satin finish that is very smooth and very thin, helps with the tone and the resonance of the guitar. One thing you will note, I didn't get a cutaway. This is just something I've learned over the years. It seems like if you take and put a cutaway in an acoustic guitar, you lose a ton of its acoustic tone, to my ear. So they obviously are easier to play lead stuff up high if you're playing plugged in all the time or something, that's fine. But if you want it for a nice acoustic sound, to my ear, as soon as you cut that chunk of wood out right here, it takes really diminishes the sound of an acoustic instrument. That's just by my experience, and your experience might be different. But I've kind of got away from getting cutaways just for that very reason, because the ones that don't have a cutaway always seem to sound better to my ear, and as I'm kind of messing around with them. But this guitar could play anything you want to play with it. It's fun to play, not too crazy expensive. I don't even know what they go for now, but it is definitely a cool guitar. If you have this guitar and you'd like to share your experience with folks, put some comments in the bottom. So if someone's looking into getting one of these things, they will have your input as well. And if you're looking at these, I hope this helps. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.